Alright, here we are given this equation and we are going to find the vertex, X-intercept, and also the Y-intercept. Of course, let's start with the vertex first. Well, notice this equation is in the standard form. So we will use the formula x is negative b over 2a. And this right here will give you the x coordinate of the vertex. Look back, we know that a is equal to 1. And then b is equal to, be really careful with this, is negative 6. Then go ahead and plug in. So we have negative b, which is negative 6. Then divided by 2, and then the a is 1. And then we just have to work this out. On the top, we get positive 6 divided by the bottom is 2, right? 2 times 1 is 2. So in the end, we just end up with 3. But be really careful. For the vertex, you have to get both the x and y. So once you have the x value, just go ahead and put it back into original. Then you see y is equal to, put the 3 back to the x. So we have 3 squared. And then minus 6 times x is again 3. Then we have the last part, which is minus 16. Then let's go ahead and work this out. You can use a calculator if you would like as well. But anyway, 3 squared is 9. 6 times 3 is 18. 9 minus 18 is negative 9. Negative 9 minus 16, we end up with negative 25. So our vertex is at 3, negative 25. And let me put this down here. 3, negative 25, like this. All right, next, let's go ahead and do the X-intercept. How can we do the X-intercept? Well, you have to remember, whenever you're trying to do the X-intercept of any equation, you always let the y to be 0. So go ahead and put the 0 for the y. So we have 0 being equal to x squared minus 6x minus 16. Then you are going to solve for x. Here we have 3 terms. So to solve this, we will just do it by grouping. Well, I mean, do it by factoring. And when you factor it, you can use the tic-tac-toe method for 3 terms. So go ahead and do this. All right, we know x times x is x squared. That's good. Then what times what will give you negative 16? Together, they have to add up to be negative 6. Well, the correct answer for this is negative 8 times positive 2. And you see, x times 2, we get positive 2x. And negative 8 times x is negative 8x. 2x minus 8x, we do get the negative 6x that we are looking for. So this is good. In another word, we can see that this is just x minus 8 times x plus 2. And let me put down the equal to 0 right here. Then we see, once we have this, we can just go ahead and break this down. We need to have x minus 8 being 0, and the other one, x plus 2 being 0. Now, right here, go ahead and add a on both sides. So we get x is equal to positive 8, right? And then for this, go ahead and subtract 2 on both sides. So we get x is equal to negative 2. Therefore, these two are the answers for the x-intercepts. We have 2 of them. And when you are writing down the x-intercept, you should technically be putting down this. First, let me write it as 8 for the x, but for the y is 0. So we have 8, 0. Then for the next one, we have negative 2, 0, like this, right? And sometimes some people will just put down 8 and negative 2. It's okay, but I prefer to do it this way. Because this emphasizes that we have the x value, the y value here is 0 for the x-intercept. And that's what we have. All right, one more, which is the y-intercept. And take a guess, what do we do for the y-intercept? Yes, we just have to let x equal to 0. It's the opposite of that. So we are going to let x being equal to 0. And then we plug in. We get y being equal to 0 squared minus 6 times 0, and then minus 16. All in all, we get 0, 0, and then here we get just negative 16. So x is 0, y will be negative 16, so the y-intercept is 0, negative 16. And with that, we are done. Okay, we are given this equation and we'll be finding the vertex, x-intercept, and also the y-intercept. So of course, let's start with the vertex first. Well, actually, I will do it the quick way for you guys first. Because this right here is in the vertex form already, so you actually can tell what the vertex is right away. So this is how we can do it. Look at here, you have x plus 3 inside right here and then square, right? So this will tell us that the x value of the vertex is at the opposite of this, which is -3, right? And then this 2 on the outside is going to tell you the y-coordinate of the vertex, which right here is just 2. And here you have it, the vertex is just -3, 2. And again, the reason is because of the following. Whenever we have the equation in the vertex form, namely y equals a times x minus h square plus k, this right here will tell you the vertex is at h comma k, right? And now this is what we have, namely y equals -2 times x plus 3 square and then plus 2 after that. Well, if you mix and match, you can see that the a is -2, but it doesn't really matter. You just care about the h and also the k. Notice that right here though, you have this, right? You see, this is -h, that's equal to +3. So if you do the work, you get -h equals +3. Then you will have to divide both sides by -1. So you actually get what? H being equal to -3, because 3 divided by -1, we get -3, right? And this right here is not tricky at all because k is just whatever you see right here, -2. So k is equal to +2, h is equal to -3. That's how we get the vertex, and you can just do this right away. You don't have to show the work like that every single time, but it's good if you do. All right, now next, the x-intercept. Well, remember, whenever we're trying to find the x-intercept, what are we supposed to do first? Yes, go ahead and you let y to be 0. Then you put the 0 into the y, and then you are going to solve for x, right? Therefore, we have y equals -2 times x plus 3 square and then plus 2. Here you have a few ways to do it. Well, as we can see, right here, we have a parentheses, this quantity being to the second power, and the x is the only thing inside, right? So the easiest way for this case is that let's isolate this part and then do the square roots on both sides. Let me show you. Here we have the +2. That's -2 on both sides, right? So we have the following. Actually, let me write this down first though. We have -2 times x plus 3, and then we square that, and we make this equal to 0 minus 2, which is -2. Let's put it down right here. Then, of course, here's the deal. We have -2 times this quantity. We are going to divide both sides by -2 first. Divide both sides by -2. That way, you get the x plus 3 by itself, and then square that, and you end up with this divided by that, which is just +1, right? Then you see, right here, we can just go ahead and take the square roots on both sides. This and that will cancel, and don't forget the plus or minus on the right-hand side. Then we are going to solve two equations. The first one is x plus 3 being equal to +1. Next, we are going to solve x plus 3 is equal to negative square root of 1. It's again 1, right? So we have -1 like this, right? Now, right here, of course, you -3 on both sides, so they cancel, and then we get x being equal to this and that is -2. Then right here, -3 on both sides, they cancel, and then we end up with x equals this and that is -4. So here we have the answer for the x-intercept. So I'm going to write it as -2, 0, and then the other one, -4, 0, like that, right? And again, the order of this doesn't matter. You can just put whichever one first, up to you. All right, last one. We are going to have the y-intercept, right? Okay, for the y-intercept, you are going to let x equal to 0. So of course, let's just go ahead, put this right here, and then do the work. We have y equals -2 times 0 for the x, and then plus 3 square, and then -2. I'm about to run out of space, but this is just a computation that you should be able to do on your own, or maybe if you would like, you can use a calculator. So do it on your own, right? And I will just walk you guys through. I'll just be talking about this, right? So here we go. 0 plus 3 is 3. Square that, we get 9. 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. Negative 18 plus 2 is negative 16, like this. Okay, so we have the y-intercept being at 0 for the x, and then the y for that is negative 16. Alright, so with that, this is it. Okay, we are given this equation, and we are going to find the vertex, x-intercept, and also y-intercept. Let's go ahead and start with the vertex. Unfortunately, this right here, we do not know the vertex right away. Well, we cannot use the formula right away because this is in the factorative form. Well, we need to put this in the standard form first. And to do that, we are just going to multiply this out so we can use the vertex formula from the standard form. So let me just write this down again for you guys. Y equals 1/2 times x plus 4 times x minus 2. And I would recommend you guys to multiply this out first. We have the 1/2 in the front, just keep that. Then we see this times this, we get x squared. And then this times this, we get negative 2x. And let me just put it down right here. Because next I know we will multiply this and that. 4 times x, we get 4x. Well, negative 2x plus 4x, we get positive 2x, right? This and that, I collect like terms already. We have the positive 2x. Lastly, you do 4 times negative 2, we get negative 8, like that, right? Now, we are just going to distribute the 1/2. So you are going to see this times this, we get 1/2 x squared. Next, this times this, 1/2 of 2 is 1. So we just have 1. So we'll just have 1x. So you can just write down plus x. Lastly, we take 1/2 times negative 8. Half of 8 is 4, and this is negative, so we have negative 4. Therefore, we can see that our equation is in the standard form now. And this right here is our A value, which is 1/2, and the B value here is positive 1, right? So let me continue right here. The vertex is at x equals negative b over 2a. So let me just write it down like this. All right, b is 1, so I'll just put it down right here. We have negative 1, and then we have 2 right here, times the a is 1/2. So we have the 1/2 here. Well, on the top we get negative 1. On the bottom, 2 times 1/2 is just 1. And if you don't like fraction, you can just use 0.5, and you end up with 1 anyway. And in the end, negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1, right? However, this right here is only the x coordinate. We have to put this back to either the original or this right here, and then get the y value, right? So I will actually like to work with the, let's do with the original, right? So here we go. Y will be 1/2 times the x is negative 1. I just put it down. And then we have to add a 4 after that, right here. And then we are going to put the negative 1 right here. And then we have the minus 2, right? Then we can just work this out. So have a look right here. This is 1/2. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. And negative 1 times minus 2 is negative 3. Like this and like that. Now, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 9 times 1/2, we end up with negative 9 over 2. Again, 1 times 3 is 3, times negative 3 is negative 9, and then this is like 3 over 1, negative 3 over 1. 2 times 1 is just 2, so this is what we have. All right, negative 1 comma negative 9 over 2 for the vertex, right? All right, now for the next part, we are going to find the x-intercept. And this is not so bad because first, remember we let y to be 0 and we put 0 for the y over there. So we have 0 equals 1/2 times x plus 4 times x minus 2. and we are going to solve for x. Well, have a look. We have a number factor right here, 1/2. It does not have any x, so you don't have to worry about that. This right here, this factor has x plus 4, right? So you are going to put this x plus 4. You are going to make this to be 0. And then again, this right here has the x minus 2. Go ahead and make that equal to 0. And these are the two equations that we have to solve, right? So the 1/2 doesn't really matter because you can imagine 0 times 1/2 will be 0. So it doesn't really matter, the 1/2. Just focus on this and that. All right, for this, you can just minus 4 on both sides. So we get x is equal to -4. For this one, we add 2 on both sides. So we get x is equal to +2. Therefore, we see that the x is -4, 0, while the other one is 2, 0, right? So two answers for the x intercepts. All right, last one. Here we have to do the y-intercept. For the y-intercept, we are going to let x equal to 0. And for this, just go ahead and put this back to the original. Have a look. Y will be 1/2 times 0 plus 4 times 0 minus 2, like this, right? Now, 1/2 times 4 is 2. 2 times -2, we get -4. And again, if you would like, you can use a calculator, up to you. But we get 0, -4 for the y-intercept. Right? Just work that out, you get -4. So that's it. Okay, we are given this equation and we'll find the vertex, x-intercept, and also the y-intercept. So here we go. Starting with the vertex. And we see that this equation is in the standard form. So let's go ahead and use x equals -b over 2a. Well, look back here. We know that a is a number in front of the x squared, which is 1, right? However, in this case, what's the b value? Well, b is a number in front of the x. But unfortunately, we do not have x. So b is actually 0 in our situation. All right, now let's go ahead and put down the 0 and also the 1. On the top, we have negative and then 0 over 2 times a is 1, like this. And the good news is that, well, everything's just turned out to be 0, right? Then, don't forget to figure out the y as well. You put 0 back to the original, so you have x is 0. And then you have to square that, and then you are going to add 9 after that. This is 0 plus 9, we get 9, right? And the truth is, whenever you don't have any middle term, you don't have any x term, you know right away it will be 0, comma something. It's just 0, comma this number. But that only works if you have b is being 0, right? Anyway though, I will tell you the vertex is 0, 9. I'll put it down right here, 0, 9. So first part done. Now, x-intercept, let's see. How do we find the x-intercept? By now you should know, right? Yes, you let y equal to 0, and then you put it back to the original. So you have 0 equals x squared plus 9. Okay, we have the x squared. So maybe we can just subtract 9 on both sides. So let me just minus 9 here, so they cancel, and I will minus 9 here. That's good. Then, I would like to just write it as x squared right here. 0 minus 9 is -9, and let me just put it down right here. And can we continue? If you continue, what happened? Take the square root on both sides like this. But what's this? A negative number instead of the square root, and we do not have any real number for that, right? So in this case, we actually have no real solution. However, if you are asking for the x-intercept for the problem right here, then the response is that there's actually no x-intercept. So you just put on none, right? Because if you solve it, there's no solution. Of course, you wouldn't see any x-intercept on the graph. And let me actually show you how the graph of this look like. Well, let's see. On the side here, We know the vertex is at what? 0, 9, which is, let's say right here, right? So this is 9, so 0, 9. What else do we know about the graph? Because A is positive 1, that means the graph has to be what? Open up. A is positive, open up, right? So you have this, and then you have the graph that looks like this. And again, this is the graph of y equals x squared plus 9. Does this graph ever touches the x-axis? No, it does not, right? This graph does not touch the x-axis ever. So that's why it's none. If you notice this right here, you can show me the graph, you don't have to do the work, right? We are going to find the y-intercept. And to do that, let me of course put it right here. You are going to let x to be 0, and then you just put a 0 in there. It's actually right here already, but let's just go ahead and work out everything. Y will be, put a 0 there, so you have 0 squared plus 9, and you end up with 9. How do we know? Because we actually know it right here, right? Anyway, the y-intercept is actually the vertex in this particular case because it happens to be right in the middle, namely the y-axis. Just like this, right? That's it.